Hi guys, and today I'm reviewing Ultracore for the PS Vita. I did a video on this previewing it a little while ago, and so this is kind of the full review after having now played it. Overall, I think it's actually a really good game. It's very frustrating, but I'll kind of get into those bits, and there's a reason I'm actually showing you the third chapter of the game because this is the one where I kind of really started to sort of feel the pain and sort of realizing how tough this game actually is. In terms of what is Ultracore, so you can see it from the screen. It's a 2D 16-bit shooter with a really cool history. So this game was actually being developed by DICE, or Digital Illusions as they were called back then, and it was cancelled a long time ago, and it's been revived or saved by Strictly Limited Games, which is very cool. So this is the Vita version, which took a little while to come out, but really glad it's finally here. And so you control this soldier with you've got machine gun. This is kind of the standard gun I've got, and you also pick up other guns along the way. So this is my spreader gun. You've got kind of a rocket gun as well. You've got I can't remember what that one's called, but you've got different guns you pick up along the way. For the default gun, you've got unlimited ammo, and you've got limited ammo that you pick up for the other guns. Now, in terms of the actual shooting and the battling mechanics, it's great, really good. Okay, this is a really tricky section. I've really enjoyed the actual I've really enjoyed the actual gameplay and the battling mechanics of it. And often, actually, I found it's pretty good. I don't normally lose that many lives when it comes to the actual fighting. What I do find tricky, and what is frustrating, and this is one of the reasons I chose this level, is the platforming. So there are some really tricky and frustrating platforming sections, this being one of them, and I died again, where I end up losing so many lives on sections like this. I'm hoping that, given I've actually finished this level a few times, I should be able to beat it now without losing too many more lives, just so I can show you guys. Oh, I died again. It's really sensitive when it comes to the sort of the what's the right word? The kind of touching those bits above. I've completed collision detection. That's the words I was looking for. You got to be really careful on some of these sections when it comes to getting through the platforming. And this is just one of them. This particular level had another two really difficult sections, and even the next chapters, there was some. And again, what you've seen there, guys, is a very common frustration in this game, and something I really wanted to make sure I point out, because this is something I think that when people play it, they just need to be aware that it's, I think there's so much going for this game. Love the soundtrack, love the pixel graphics, love the gameplay in terms of the shooting mechanics. All of that is great. It feels really good to play, really good to control. But you just got to kind of get over the fact that there are some sections which are just painfully difficult, and you will die a lot. And for me, it was actually this level 3, which is where it really started happening, where I really started sort of losing lives. And I ended up coming here and doing this one again quite often, because before I got to this level, I had pretty much all my continues intact. And so when I got to this level, that's when I started losing them. And so I came back here to try and like replay it and make sure that I can actually finish it with as many continues as possible, so that I have a good chance on the other levels. But like I said, the actual battling, the shooting mechanics is great. It's another place where I kind of tended to lose a few lives, although I thought I'd pretty much mastered it, but obviously I still make mistakes. But yeah, like I said, the shooting, the platforming, the movement is great, but you just have to deal with these really frustrating platforming mechanics. Hopefully I'm back at the same boss I was previously. And so what tended to happen is that I lost so many continues at this level that it then impacted the other levels, because levels 4 and 5 are also really difficult. So you need to have your continues, you need to have as many lives as possible and continues as possible before you go to those levels. And if you don't, I recommend just kind of restarting, going back to levels 1, 2, 3, whichever one you lost a lot of lives on, and trying to do them again and doing better on them. It can be very frustrating, like I said, but I think there's also a lot of fun to be had with a game like this. I'm hoping I can just kind of get past that section which I just died on, so I can show you a little bit more of the level. The boss battles are great. So this is each level has two boss battles, a mid boss and an end boss, and they're actually really fun. So this one is probably one of the more boring ones, to be fair, actually. But there are the actual boss for this level is really cool. It's these kind of I think it's about 8 robots that you have to try and kill. These sort of that shoot missiles at you. It's quite tricky. You know, I think I died on the first couple of attempts, but the boss battles have been really good, actually. They've been kind of a bit of a highlight of this game. So great boss battles, great music, great pixel graphics, good game, you know, really good gameplay, enjoyable sort of shooting. It really reminds me of sort of Contra on the Super NES in terms of the game, in terms of the battling. And actually there's a lot of exploration as well. There's a lot of items dotted around the levels that you have to kind of try and find your way to, and it's not always easy or obvious how you get to them. So it's I did it that time. Great. So it's not always easy or obvious how you're supposed to get to these items. So it's actually quite nice, and there's more to the game, more to the level than just sort of running in a straight line almost. Like there is a lot of exploration. There's a lot of items to get. Getting weapons, weapon upgrades, and in terms of exploration, you need to unlock doors as well. So there are times when I would go to an area and realize that actually I missed out. There was a door I was supposed to open before I got here, and so knowing and then being able to sort of explore for that as well, it adds a lot more depth to the game than kind of I think from sort of a lot of 16-bit games at the time, which felt more sort of just run and gun. So yeah, there's a lot going for it. Actually, this is another example. You'll come across this, I think it's in level 2, where you need to sort of time your jumps perfectly with these sort of bouncing platforms and wait till they're at their highest point before you make your jump, which is also really tricky. I lost a lot of lives at that point as well. Let me see if I can get, yes, good. I want to get to another section, just kind of show you guys another tricky, annoying platforming bit, just again, so you guys can see what I'm talking about when I mention this. You can actually bounce on enemies' heads, which is interesting as well. And if you can time it and sort of place yourself just right, you won't actually lose any health, which is cool. So there are times actually where you don't always want to go through the door, even though there's a door open in front of you, because that may take you to the next section and lock your progress. And there's also, like you just saw there, there's a lot of sort of hidden rooms as well, and there's breakable areas where you may find extra items kind of falling through the walls or ceilings. So it's, again, like it's really good in terms of exploration. It's almost kind of reminds me of Castlevania 4 kind of in terms of exploration and looking for different items. So there's whoops, that was silly. So there's yeah, like I said, there's a lot to do in this game, a lot going for it. Let's try going this door. I don't remember what's here. Let's try it. The music gives you for the soundtrack. You have two options. You have kind of the sort of chiptune 16-bit instrument, or you've got this sort of CD sort of. You've got the CD option, which is the one I've got now, which is kind of this remastered soundtrack for the game, which is actually really good. I really enjoy it. Somebody recommended that to me, and I really appreciate that. And so you actually you collect coins in the game, and you can actually use those coins to, like I'm doing now, upgrade my health. Not sure why that just went down to 0. That was weird. Oh, that's interesting. I've never done that before. So if you try and buy too much health, it takes it back down to 0. God, that's annoying. So let me just use all my coins and just get my health back up again. What a waste. Okay, that was really silly. I did not know that. So you can obviously use your coins and potentially go down in health, which is frustrating. Okay, it's good to know for future. I won't do that again. Also, you have to worry about time in this game. So each level you have a time limit, and you can get those sort of extra time power-ups. But I didn't normally have that big a problem when it came to time. I was normally able to get through each level. I think only once, maybe on chapter 4. I think I ran out of time completely. So for the most part, the time restriction isn't a big issue. But it's something you just need to bear in mind when you're playing. The game does get tricky. There is a story to the game as well. You're a soldier and you need to stop this bad guy Vance, who's trying to destroy the planet. So you need to. It's a bit of a story. It doesn't really. Change much of the game or anything. It's, to be honest, it was interesting, but it didn't. I don't feel it kind of added all that much value. It was more just nice to have it. But when you consider that this was a Mega Drive game, you didn't tend to get like big deep stories when it came to games of that genre, that era, sorry. So I wasn't necessarily expecting there to be some deep narrative here. Actually, that's probably an unfair statement. We did have like the Final Fantasy games on Super NES, so yeah, I think that's a bit of an unfair statement actually. So let's just go. Oh, I did not expect that to happen. So interestingly, I didn't go through that door the first time or previous playtimes. So there you go. I was like, even on this playthrough, I'm kind of learning and seeing more to the game. Okay. This is the section I wanted to show you guys, which is super duper frustrating. In this section, you've got the closing wall, kind of a closing wall that you need to worry about. I'm gonna risk it. So there's a extra life I want to get. Let's see if I can get there in time. Yes, okay. Now, I died a lot the first time I did that. Now, what I want to do is try and get to the top, and this again is an area where it's really, really painful, where I died so many times. So it is like a traditional 16-bit game. You do have, you've got your lives, you've got continues to worry about. I fell down. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna die. Yep. You've got lives and you've got continues, and if you don't, you need to make sure you've got enough continues to really actually play the game and to beat some of the later levels, because they do get really hard. So if you don't finish level 3 with 2 continues, then I'd recommend almost kind of starting again, because you're going to lose a continue probably on chapter 4 as well, and then chapter 5 you want to be prepared for that as well. So it does take practice, and one of the things that I did like about it is that these tricky sections, I'm actually just trying to wait because I want to jump on these enemies. They kind of help you sort of travel upwards, but they just don't seem to want to come out, which is annoying. There we go. One of the things I did like is, okay, there's a lot of frustration when it comes to these platforming parts, but at the same time, there's also a lot of satisfaction from actually being able to beat it. So you do die. Oh no. Damn. There is, like I said, there's a lot of frustration when you're playing it and you're dying and losing lots of lives, but then when you come back to it and manage to finish it on your first try, which clearly I am not doing this time, there's a lot of satisfaction you get from that. Okay, now I'm back where I wanted to be. Good. And I died again. And this guys is after me having played this level I don't know how many times, maybe 6 or 7 times, and I'm still dying a lot. So yeah, it's definitely something to be aware of, the frustrations. Okay, good. I've got past that part. Let's hope I can get past the next part, and I can show you guys the bosses of this level. No. So maybe it's better to watch somebody on YouTube. If you struggle on this, maybe watch somebody on YouTube who can actually do these levels easier, because I am clearly not that great. No, I don't want to lose too much health while I'm doing this as well. That's another tricky aspect. Okay, good. All right, let's see if I can make it this time. But I do recommend this game, guys. It is a little bit pricey, but I have enjoyed. No, okay, I'm gonna try one more time for this video. I do recommend this game though. It is a lot of fun. It is frustrating. You just need to be kind of prepare yourself almost for challenge and the trickiness of some of these levels. But I've enjoyed playing it, and I've just loved actually just having that this game has actually come to Vita, because it's one of these things where it came to Switch and to PS4 a while ago, and so it just felt like, oh, are we going to get it? Are we not? And it's a shame we're not getting the Vita physical, or there's no announcement of it yet. But I still think it's a really good game. Challenging, frustrating, yes, but there is you do get a feeling of satisfaction when you finish a tricky level after coming back to it and manage to beat it easily. So guys, that is Ultracore. Let me know in the comments if you're thinking of picking this up, and thank you for watching.